Initializing monetization. Monetization process successful.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of ZMU Live TV, Raw and Uncut. I'm your host, Armand Nicholas, and today we're going to be talking about a topic that I just actually got a message last night from one of our members. I'm actually headed to the gym right now. It's gym day, but nonetheless, wanted to go ahead and take this time to try to see if I can address this question. They were inquiring about the topic of Google AdSense. So today we'll be talking about what is Google AdSense and how you can make money with it. Okay, so first of all, you're probably watching this because you currently have a YouTube channel that you are either trying to monetize or already monetize, and that's perfectly fine. But you also have to understand that in the back end of that, there's another way that you could actually acquire additional revenue because you have a YouTube channel. Okay, a lot of the people out there, you've noticed that besides their YouTube channel, they've managed to create a website for themselves as well, whether it's for their channel or for a blog. Okay, so in regards to what type of blogs that are out there, I have another video for that. You can go ahead and search my channel to see what, the cons and pros about creating a blog. But today we'll be talking about what is Google AdSense and how to make money with it. Okay, number one tip, first and foremost, number one, do not try to cheat Google and dramatically increase the number of clicks that you get on your website. Okay, do not try to encourage your website visitors to click on the ads. Of course, do not ever click on your own ads and under any circumstances. Okay, Google has a very accurate and complicated system for preventing click frauds. Okay, once it notices some suspicious activity on your website or has any form of doubts about the quality of your traffic and the quality of your clicks, they could actually suspend your website, or not your website, but they can suspend your account, your Google AdSense account. And worst case scenario, they can terminate your Google AdSense account. Okay, so be very careful about that. Obviously, this is just an additional revenue stream that you can utilize. If you have a lot of followers for your channel, it makes sense for you to actually have a website that your viewers can also go to gain additional information about your topics, to do a little bit more research about your channel. Okay, so you can actually link those two, your channel and your website together. And of course, you can monetize your website to have Google AdSense. Google AdSense allows your website to deliver advertisings, just like your YouTube channel, where when you get monetized on your YouTube channel, you allow YouTube to put advertisings in your videos, right? It's the same thing. Monetizing your website allows Google to basically put advertisings on your website. Now, keep in mind, this is just one of those concepts. Now, in the previous video that I did before, we did the alternatives to Google AdSense. There's a ton of them out there. There's like 50 different ones. I did a short episode on 21 most popular ones, right? So take a look at that video, and of course, learn a little bit more of the different methods of monetizing your website. But today we'll be talking about just the Google AdSense concept of it. Okay, so going back to it, how much can you actually earn with Google AdSense? It's a concept of, does it make sense for me to host or have a blog or a website? And can I make money doing this, and how much money can I make? Now keep in mind, it's a supplementary revenue to your YouTube channel if this is what you're doing, right? So understand that it really depends. So Google charges, in the concept of how much can you earn with Google AdSense. Well, Google charges advertisers per ad click. Okay, they charge them per every time that their ads get clicked on your website. Publishers, you are the publisher. Publishers get 68% of the click amounts, okay, or 51% when it comes to AdSense for searches, okay. The commission you get depends heavily on the competition and the CPC in the niche. Now, the competition simply means that on a daily basis, there's an auction or bidding war as far as how much advertisers are paying for their advertising to go out there in the general public. So it gets reset on almost a daily basis, right? But at the end of the day, in practice, the commission per click ranges anywhere between 20 cents and all the way up to $15 per click. I know, right? I mean, 20 cents is not very much, but it tends to add up depending on how much traffic that you get on your website. So it ranges between 20 cents to $15. So the question is, how do you get to that larger, higher amount? Well, it really depends on the quality of your website, the type of topic that you're addressing, and of course, if it's a blog, the type of information that you're providing to your visitors, okay? The majority of the niches out there bring less than $3 per click. But you gotta remember, even if you're getting $3 per click, I mean, that's a pretty hefty, significant amount, depending on how much traffic you get and depending on how many clicks that you get. $3 per click, it's pretty high, right? That's pretty aggressive. However, there are some niches that can be extremely profitable, okay? There are niches that can be extremely profitable when you're talking about Google AdSense, okay? There are two ways to discover the most profitable topics. Now, there's something called CPC map tool out there, and I'll address that in a different video in the future, but estimate can average cost between niches is a wide range. So here in the United States, the number one highest revenue stream for Google AdSense is in the topic of insurance. Now, why is that? Quite honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea. I mean, I have a sense of clue, but I don't really know the details behind it. But I'm assuming it's because insurance in the United States is one of the heaviest, most expensive thing that people can purchase, and insurance companies are willing to advertise heavily for those leads, for those clicks, right? Okay, so insurance is an expensive advertising tool. So here in the United States, they're anywhere between $16 to $17 per click. I mean, just imagine $16 to $17 per click. Okay. Now the next thing is the online educational niche. Online education, again, is a very high niche lead system. And it's also because if you really look at this, insurance is one of those things where if somebody purchases insurance, they're very expensive, and the insurance companies only pay out at a certain point in time when a claim is made, right? Same thing with online education. Online education is one of those things that people will pay to acquire education without having to go to an actual brick and mortar facility and using up their facility, right? You can actually do it online, okay? Now, the third is the marketing and advertising niche, okay? So between these three, between insurance, online education, and marketing and advertising, these three consist of the three highest paid niches in the United States. Now you can see that the three most expensive niches will lend itself to a good revenue stream if you have a lot of traffic on your blog or on your website, depending on the topic that you have, right? If you're just about to start a blog and choosing a topic to cover, these are topics that you may want to consider looking into, or somehow in your blog or in your website maybe address some of these topics, even if it's not the primary topic that your blog and website is all about, just because of the sheer volume of possibility as far as revenue when it comes to ad clicks. Okay, so again, the three most popular or the three highest revenue stream in the United States: insurance, okay, online education, and number three, marketing and advertising. Okay, now with that said, another one, second way is check the CPC of the particular keyword that you're actually targeting. And again, Keyword Magic Tool is one of those tools that you can use to see, you know, what type of blogging system that you should be able to do or want to do based on if you're trying to use your website to generate additional revenue for your site. Okay, the amount that you earn doesn't solely depend. Okay, you have to remember this. The amount that you earn doesn't solely depend on the cost per click, the CPC. It also depends on how ads match your audience interest. Okay, where the ads are located on the page. Some people would put the ads on the footer, on the very bottom. Some people would put their ads all the way to the top on the header, right? And then of course you've seen these websites where no matter where you go on the page, the ad follows you, right? It basically scrolls down with you, constantly being in front of the viewer or in front of your visitor. Okay, so it really depends on where or how your ads are positioned on your website. Okay, now with that said, so pay attention to the content of your website, the way that it looks and feels to the visitor, and test different placements within a page to find the most efficient option, to find the best possible option for you and your website. Okay, now last but not least, most importantly, understand that traffic is king. Traffic is one of the most important things. Now you got to do the numbers between, you know, the law of numbers, right? The law of large numbers. The more people that visit your website, the higher the possibility, the higher the percentage that someone would actually click on an ad that they saw is interesting. Okay, now that doesn't mean, well, I get, you know, 1,000 visitors per day, which is not a lot to some people, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a bunch of ads on my website. Doesn't work that way. Okay, your CPC will drop down because you're flooding your website with so many ads, and the people are having a hard time looking at the content to begin with because the ads are all over the place. Or there are those websites that you've seen. They've got real great content, real great value, but you'll see that there's only 2 ads in there or 1 ad in there because basically they have higher CPC rate, and those ads are more generated based on the preference of your viewer, the location of your viewer. So please understand that just because you have 1,000 viewers per day, that doesn't mean that you're gonna want to go ahead and flood your website with 5 or 10 ads per page. Okay, it doesn't make a, you know, there's an algorithm that you have to understand and follow in regards to how to make your CPC climb higher and higher. Okay, but again, understand that traffic is king. It's one of the most important things that you need to understand, that your earnings depend on the amount of targeted traffic to your website. You can actually choose the most expensive niche, pick the best possible placements of your ads, but it doesn't make sense if nobody comes to your website. So you can have the best ad placement, you can have the best content, but if you don't market and promote your website, no one is coming to your website, which means you're not going to get paid on anything just because no one is there. So keep in mind that only a very small number of your visitors will actually click on your ads. It's not a high percentage, all right? There's not a set number that Google talks about. But a lot of the publishers out there, a lot of the webmasters out there report that there's a 1% to 2% click-through rate, CTR. So we can assume that 1% to 2% of your visitors could potentially click on your ad. So if you get 1,000 visitors, 1% to 2% is pretty good, right? That is pretty good. 1,000 visitors and 1%, 10, or 2%, 20, are actually clicking on your ads. And let's say that your ads are in the niche, in the nice to top 3 niches. Well, if you're ranging anywhere between $3 to $10 per click, those numbers can start to add up. So please take that into account. Now, if your, you know, website is only rated at, let's say, 20 cents or 30 cents per click, well, 10 to 20 clicks is really not that much. That is why it's really important for you to consider making sure that you have the right niche or targeted market on your website. Okay, most probably the clicks will bring in less than $1 per click. So understand that less than $1, and you're working with the 1% to 2% margin. If it's less than $1, that's perfectly fine, because eventually it'll add up. Your job is to promote your website. Your job is to promote and market your website so that you can get more and more traffic in the future, so that even if it's less than $1, those clicks and those revenue will start to add up. Okay, now you can pretty much calculate yourself how much traffic you need to earn the amount that you want. Okay, therefore, if you want to make money with AdSense, you should have a large volume of traffic, number one. Okay, and of course, good quality information. You want traffic to come to your website, but you don't want them to come once and never come back again. You want them to come back over and over, because you have good value, you have good information to present to your viewers. Okay, this will require a lot of work and a lot of unique and quality content. Okay, this means that it is always reasonable to create a website on a topic you know a great deal about. Okay, always create a if you're gonna create a website that it makes it easier for you to upload new topics, things that you're passionate about, things that you know a lot about. Right? Don't create a website that you have no idea about the topics, because it's going to be hard for you to actually put content in there. Okay, it will be much easier for you to generate a lot of quality content, and this work will be pleasurable. It's not mundane. It's actually something that you could be excited about, because it's something that you're passionate about. Right? Do not expect to make $1,000 per month with 10-page website. It requires a lot. If you go to a lot of the different websites out there, a lot of the successful blogs or website, they don't only have 10 pages on their site. They have a lot of different pages, a lot of different tools, a lot of different resources on their pages. It takes time to build those websites. So don't think that you're going to open a website tomorrow and start making $1,000 when you only have 5 pages on your website. Build, ramp up. Okay, it is recommended. Okay, it is recommended to create at least 20 to 30 pages of content. Okay, before you start working with AdSense. Wow, that's a lot. 20 to 30 pages of content before you work with AdSense, to so that you can already build up that viewer list. You can already build up the visitors, right? And then apply for your AdSense at that point. Okay, so in summary, briefly summarizing, you can actually make pretty good money with Google AdSense, but it is not a program where you can get rich quickly. There's a lot of work involved. There are some common sense rules to follow when that will help you lay the foundation or the groundwork for a high stable earnings. Okay, number one, you gotta love the topic. Okay, so these are things that you want to make sure that you take into account. Okay, number one, you gotta love the topic. It makes it a lot easier for you to create new content. It makes it a lot easier for you to have fun with what you're doing, and it makes it a lot easier for you to do the research on those topics, because it's something that you love. It's something that you're passionate about, right? As well, number two, as well as producing unique and relevant content, do it on a regular basis. Don't try to put content once a month or once every 2 weeks or once a week. It's something that you must always constantly do, because the more content you have in there, the more likely that your website will come up in Google searches for new visitors. Okay, Google is aware that your website is being updated constantly with fresh information, and you can actually increase your CPC rates that way. Number three, don't try to cheat Google, you guys. Okay, with any kind of artificial clicks. Okay, it's not gonna play out for you. I've done enough research on this that I've seen a lot of forums, a lot of topics about this stuff, that people are getting suspended. People are getting their monetization goes away, right? And the reasoning is because they got a little greedy and they got a little hungry. And no, take the time. Okay, it's not worth doing. Something is not worth doing unless it puts in a lot of work, right? So please put in the work that it needs to ensure that you can survive the trend of new topics, and of course making sure that you can actually have those visitors coming back over and over for you. Okay. Number four, do some research to find the most profitable niches in terms of CPC and search demand. Okay, build your content, plan according to these insights. You gotta make sure that the topic that you address are in those high quality niches, and somehow build around it. Even if it's not on those top 3 quality niches, right? Build your site around them. Provide information that could trigger those niches. Okay. Now, with that said, this will help you get a lot of those topics. If you do all of these things, it will help you build good traffic and a lot of traffic and monetize your Google AdSense account for your channel now, or for your website. Now, keep in mind that, again, it's not a get rich quick scheme process. It takes some time to actually do this. So do it right, do it properly, and I assure you, if you do this according to set rules and guidelines, you could actually have a good revenue stream from your blog site. If you take into account certain rules and process, you could actually have a nice revenue stream. Now, on the back end of this, people always ask, is Google AdSense the only option out there? Absolutely not. It's not. This video is about Google AdSense, but know that I do have another video that talks about all the different alternatives, right? But can you mix and match them? Absolutely. You can definitely mix and match all of them, right? You can have Google AdSense in there. You can have AdPops in there. You can have Yelix in there. You can have Adstera in there. I mean, you can have all of these different monetization for your channel and put them all into effect into your website. You just don't want to have too many of them, because imagine if you have like 20 or 30 ads on your website from 10 to 15 different platforms. Your viewers are gonna get so confused. There's so many ads popping up, and maybe your content is not enough. They could get turned off by coming to your website because there's too many ads instead of content. So be very careful about that. So one of the things that we always tell people is, if you're gonna do that, make sure that you can separate them between pages. You know, you can divide each page by having maybe 2 or 3 different AdSense, or 2 or 3 different monetization ads on the site, instead of having all 5 to 10 different ones on your site. If you want more information about the different types of alternatives to Google AdSense, please take a look at the other videos that I have on my channel. Hopefully this hopefully this could help you figure out what's the best route for yourself. Okay, so once again, I'm hoping that this information lends itself to some value to you in pursuing your blog opportunity. And of course, if you've been thinking about doing that for some time, this hopefully could kind of give you an idea as far as what to expect. Okay, once again, if you haven't done so yet, please go to the bottom of this page, look at the description, send me a message, put your comments down there, give me some information as far as what you thought about the video, some values into it. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, hey, listen, we just try, right? But if you haven't done so yet, make sure that you hit subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button on the top right, so that you can be notified about new videos that are being uploaded in the future. Once again, my name is Armand Nicholas, and see you next time on another episode of ZMU Live TV, Raw and Uncut.
Initializing monetization. Monetization process successful.